I'm basically going to do a video on how to replace your Braun 6550 batteries. This specific shaver was actually broken, and I'm not exactly sure if it's working. I've replaced a couple of parts, and the LCD lights up and everything. But I'm going to replace the batteries now for some uh, Eneloop Pros. I think they're the best ones. I didn't really do a lot of investigation, but these were the best ones in terms of power delivery and everything. I'm going to replace these. I've already taken out the original batteries. I have them right here. It's not really too hard to do, so I'm going to open it up and try to show everything. Yeah, that's basically it. So I'll just start. So here. Oh, fuck, I think I might have fucked up. Oh shit, I did fucked up. Okay, but let's see. I fucked up. Hold on. Let me use this little bit. So we first take out two screws that are under here. You have to take out the little covers with a knife or something sharp. It's not too difficult. I never place them back again. So I've already taken out two, the other one. So yeah, here they are, two little screws. I placed them on the original box. This part comes off the screen. Then you can, take it all out. Now, I did something that I should not have done, which was I placed this wrongfully. So let me try to take it out without actually breaking it. Oops. Okay. Because, yeah, I did put this wrong. It's all fine. So you just need to press this button to take that out. And then you can, this thing is like this, you turn it 90 degrees and pull it up. Now, to keep disassembling, I'll use this one. Don't use it too small. Use some that's slightly bigger. And you've got here one screw and another screw here. So you'll just do it like this. Start unscrewing, and it comes right off. Basically, it's a little tricky to then screw back, but with some, it's not too bad, too hard. This comes right off. Here you have two screws. Make sure you keep them. Now here you have, I think this is called like a torque screw or something. You just put it in and you remove this. You remove these two screws and you place them. Now this comes off. Now in this state, you should not like do the third. Do not, because this will all disassemble. It's kind of an asshole thing to then put back together. So you've got then these little clips. You just gotta undo them. Now you have it like this. What I do is I use the exact same bit screw and I just place them in here, like, like in here, and they just like pop up. See? Pretty easy. Now the PCB you can just lift up. Now I have removed the original batteries, but yeah, they basically would be like this. I just opened it up. They basically should be like this. That's not too big of a deal. Now to replace these batteries, I've got these ones here. And by the way, we'll replace the batteries, and then also do a reset of the shaver. That is something that I'm not sure if it is needed, but because I don't know if it is working on the service manual, they have a way to reset the shaver into tests. What I think it's not working is the power, but the charging basically. I'm not exactly sure if it is working, but we'll do a reset and test of the shaver, and then we'll take our conclusions. Also, yeah, I think it's that. So here we have this. So I'm going to connect already the soldering iron. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So you get a little bit of great sand grit paper or whatever this is called, and you have your little battery, and you just do it slightly. I would like to recommend a lower grade. I think this one is too high, but that's fine. Yeah, just a little bit. Now here for this side, just do the same. And then you can even use a little knife, create some little grooves there. Here the second one. Yeah, so hold up. Okay, so here I have this is a little thing to pull chips out of a board, but what I like to use it is to actually like do this so I can like solder the things. Let me turn it on first. Okay. So we'll wait a little bit. And I'm already going to start cutting. So to do the little contact, I'll actually just use this, which is a little bit of thing, right? So you just come here. I've already done over here. Like it's not anything too hard to do. You cut a little bit of this insulation thing. This is just normal wire, you know. It's better to cut more, because if you need more, you can just then cut it back. Now, to cut it, I don't have pliers to cut. I just use this and just, you know, like it's so relatively simple. You got a little bit of thing there. And try to straighten it out and everything. So you'll need 4 of these. So I'm placing them there. I'd say that the hardest part probably is soldering these little things. But other than that, this is not too hard to do, I think. Okay, we already have 2. So I'm using some, I think this is flux. Oh, yeah. So it's still heating up a little. So the way that I do it is a little bit of flux, put it there. Yeah. Now we wait. Now you also need a little bit of solder, so it's a little bit cold. Now this will be easy, especially if you have like special tools. Like this is just a really cheap soldering iron. Uh, that I have. Oops. So yeah, this is like the hardest part. So I have replaced also this shaver was not working, was broken. This was from my father. A little bit of flux there. Probably needs a little bit more solder. Hold up. This is not really too good for the battery. You should try to do this as fast as you can so that you don't give a lot of heat on the battery because that damages the battery. Yeah, this is like kind of the hardest part. So hold up. Especially if you don't, like I said, if you don't have like special tools. Yeah, that's not good. Need to add some flux. Okay. I don't think it is too bad. Oh, it's really hot. That's fine. Yeah, so right now it looks something a little like that. I think that's enough. Where is the board? Here it is. So yeah, that's more than enough. You don't need a lot coming like out. See, you just need a little bit. Now we basically flip it around and do the exact same, making sure that it is on the right uh, direction. So they have to be parallel to each other, the little tabs or whatever you want to call it. From my experience, I think this side is kind of easier. Just apply like a generous amount of solder. This side you should, I think, yeah, you need to add a little more than on the other, but oh, this one is going to be a little harder, but it's smaller. Let's see, we can do. Is this enough? I guess so. So now I can actually solder this one already on the board, but I'll wait. I'll wait a little. So now we cut again a little more, you know. Um, we do the following battery. Now this really works for basically any shaver. I just noticed that there wasn't really any tutorial or anything. I also kind of reverse engineered the board. So I might do a later video explaining how it works and everything. But it is really interesting. There are and ways to know if it is working or not. There are a couple of tests that you can do. I really did find pretty interesting. Oh, there we go. Now it's going way better. Nicely done. Now we get to this side. Should add a little bit of flux too. Doesn't need too much, I think. Don't ask me for temperature. This is just a basic soldering iron. I don't know its temperature. Now, what you should do, and now we'll basically just add the little tab here. Um, a little bit like this. Yeah, this is fine. And it should be looking something like that. Now we can, put it on the correct place and everything. To solder now on the PCB, we have, so it's something that you need to make sure you don't get wrong here. This top connection is a negative, so you put the negative and you connect it like this. To solder the thing, it's not too hard. You just put it and, oops, wait, no audio. You just touch it there until it melts the solder. Yeah, this side is done. Now we need to do the other side. Wait, just align it with the hole that you have made. That's on the PCB line. Yeah, just solder it. It's not too hard to do. You might have to add a little bit of solder after doing that. There we go. It's pretty nice. One battery is in. Now we do the next one. Maybe this is needed a little bit. Yeah. So here you put it to the side and you invert the battery. So here it's inverted. If you do the same, so you grab it. Mhm. Yeah. This side is done. Now here's for this side. You align it and bam, I mean, it's done. So you have now connected a battery to the thing. Well, now let me just this out and we reassemble the thing. Now it will not work right away. So, oh, by the way, you then, like this is something that I will do, is you'll check just to make sure you have not connected anything wrong. So you'll just do a quick check like this, nothing, nothing. Okay. Let's make sure there's nothing because I did short the battery on accident the first time that I did this. And yeah, you then put it in. Now I will close it just for testing, right? Oh, it seems that it does work right away, but the LCD is off, and that is normal. Now, that is something, as you can see, it is getting low, the battery, which was actually my original concern. That's what the issue that I had before. So let me measure some voltages, just try to see what the hell is happening. So the total voltage is 2.9. 2.98. So you basically, This is basically normal. Now, what you have to do is the following. What I will do, so the voltages are fine, but it is shutting off. And I think that's normal. I think, I'm not 100% sure. So we'll just do it like, no, we'll actually assemble it fully. So you can't forget this little thing there, this little thing here. So you just put it back. Make sure that this button is down. So is this one. It fits right. The little LCD thing, put it back. Same with this. So we will do this lower part first, so that the shaver doesn't completely disassemble itself. Now, it is normal to have this low runtime, I think, because on the user manual, they say that if it runs for a short amount of time, you need to recharge it for a minimum of 4 hours. And that happens when the LCD turns off, or because the shaver, when it loses all the battery, the LCD turns off. And when that happens, it needs to do a full recharge that takes around 4 hours. Now, I've realized a couple of interesting things, which is the LCD chip does not actually have a direct connection in terms of communication with the charging IC. The charging IC has no idea on the battery that it just knows when it is full, when the battery is full or when it's empty. Now, so the LCD, I don't think it actually measures the voltage. Now, this is something that I was not yet able to really test out, but I think it actually is for time. So the batteries right now are fully charged, right? They're fully charged, they have no issue. The LCD is turned off. The LCD will only turn on when I connect it to the power. And in this time over an hour, it will actually, so here, see? Now it is turning on the LCD. Now, it doesn't say that it is charged, so it will be here 1 hour, the LCD will go up, and then the green LED will turn off. Now, what we will have to do, now I want to do a reset test. For that, I need to do a procedure that states on the manual, and it is ended up not doing the reset test because it would take a lot of time, and I really did not think it was necessary. But I mean, as of right now, it fully charged, and the green LED stopped. So it's around 1 hour since I recorded the video. Now the shaver is still drawing 1.4 watts, which might be normal because this is like the first 4 hours. You know, so the idea would be that after those 4 hours, it would shut off. Now, I'm not sure if that's normal or anything. I'm a little worried that might be some issue, but I mean, it stopped charging now. The batteries do charge. The battery has increased the voltage. So, I mean, yeah, it is still drawing power though. That's the only issue. But I might do a second video where I debug or where I do the reset test and I debug what the shaver does at every step because it's pretty interesting. It says on the service manual, I was able to figure out a lot of things, especially not just seeing the user manual, the user manual from this shaver, from other shavers. So I know that, for example, the charging IC, which is the rectangular one, controls the batteries, right? The charge. But it's pretty interesting because it only it how should I say this? So the rectangular IC really only knows when the battery is low or high, if it's even that. Because, for example, the LCD IC, the one that tells you the battery, I think it's just like a timer. It basically just counts the time. So I'm pretty sure if I reason, when the shaver says 0, because these batteries have more power than the original ones, I'll still have plenty of runtime to go, even when the LCD says 0. Because I don't think it measures the voltage. I think it actually is a question of time. So it will have the same runtime, basically, according to the LCD. Of course, I know it will have more because I put a bigger battery on it. But I think that's how it works. It's pretty interesting. The shaver does discharge once in a year. And I know that thing, what causes the shaver to discharge is actually the LCD IC, because if I do check the ones that don't have the LCD, they don't do it automatically. So you have to be the one that discharges it completely. It says on the manual. So I know that the LCD IC is one that does the complete discharge of the shaver automatically. I also know that when you try to enter that service mode and do the electronics resetting test that is stated on the service manual, I know that it discharges the battery. So it's pretty interesting. I did the test before with original batteries, but one of them failed on the test because it's a pretty extreme test. It's a pretty, like, these are almost 30-year-old batteries. So it's a pretty extreme test, but it basically discharges the batteries in like half an hour or something completely. So yeah, one of them failed on that test, and thankfully I was able to unplug everything on time. But yeah, it discharges automatically. There's a couple of steps they have to take, and then after make sure that they're complete. Because I think you need to synchronize the actual battery of the power with the LCD, because the batteries have now a lot of power, but the LCD starts with the 0. Then it's 1 hour charging, so that might have to be reset. That's just like a theory that I have. I am not 100% sure. I'll see if it works everything correctly. Most people have not, that I've seen online, have not had too many issues. I think it's just replacing and you're good to go, which is what I did now, because I didn't really want it to do the test again, because the batteries are new, but it's a pretty long process and it can damage the battery. So I'll just wait for it to discharge normally and then I'll run the test. Instead of discharging them really fast. But yeah, that's it. I might do a couple of more videos on how the PCB works, because I figure out a little bit how it works, except the the, the power supply part. That's extremely complicated. I have no idea how it works. But either way, yeah, that's it. And yeah, I hope it helps. I'll try to answer uh, any questions that you might have. Put the comments. I don't really know. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. Full charge, and it does work. It does turn on. Thing that you can actually test to make sure if, I don't know what was that all about, but another thing that you can basically do to make sure, to test if the shaver is working correctly, is when it's fully charged, you can listen to it. Holy crap, dude. There's like a thunderstorm outside. But you can hear it's like a clock ticking. Now, what is this? When it's fully charged. So here on the user manual, they say that the recharging after minus max, the recharging process is accomplished. The player switches to the recharge states. In appliances up to week 5095, the amp meter must now pulsate in 3-second rhythmic LED display 80%. In appliances now, what I'm reading now is actually from the older version of this shaver. It's the 5550. Now, interesting thing is that they use basically the same PCB. It's not the exact version of PCB, but they use the same logics. I think, yeah, basically the PCBs have versions, but they are compatible. Now, this one, of course, it's the next version. So this one was actually released in 97. So it uses the newer version. Now, in appliances of week 50 of 95 upwards, the amp meter should now pulsate in a 1 second rhythm. LED display 100%. Now, what I see here is that it actually is drawing 1 point. I'm using a digital one, so I cannot really tell, but I do hear it pulsate. So yeah, I think that's something that you can look for to make sure if it is working. So that kind of might explain the power draw that the 1.4 watts. I still think it's a little bit too low, but yeah. So basically, this is something that I was able to. It's a thunderstorm outside. That's why everything's kind of flashing sometimes. But you can use to see if it's working or not. But but yeah, you need to um, take a look. I'm sorry. But yeah, you can take a look at these values and things and make sure it's working. Now, as I said, this is not on the service manual of this shaver. It's on the service manual of the older one, but they use the same PCB. They're interchangeable. That's why this information is not. Another thing that I noticed is that a lot of information is incorrect with this one, and I feel that they might have used the older serviceman and they forgot to change a couple of things. When you connect it to the power, they said that only the green LED is on, the LCD is off, but the LCD actually blinks. So I think they might have forgot a couple of things, and that might be normal. Um, yes, basically it might actually be working completely fine, and that's it. So any question you have, ask them. I'll give my best to answer them.